Okay, welcome in one and all. I'm now going to continue my 32 and 32 with the Tampa Bay Lightning. As I do with all the videos, I like to display the home jersey and the reverse retro, and this one here I think is kind of neat. It has their logo from their inaugural season back in I think '93, with the like the 3D logo lightning and the Tampa Bay above it, and the lightning across the side. And you have the water underneath of it. You have the little lines in the middle, which are obviously indicating rain, and then you have the little lightning flashes on both sides. To me, this is it's interesting. I don't love it, but I like it. So it's one of those jerseys that again I don't like rating stuff, but if I had to, it would be above a five. Let's just put it that way, out of 10. So last season, the Tampa Bay Lightning they finished with 46 wins, 30 regulation losses, and six overtime/shootout losses for 98 points, finishing third in that Atlantic Division for the second season in a row. Now, it's worth noting that the last time the Tampa Bay Lightning missed the playoffs was back in the 2016-2017 season. Since then, in 2018, they made it to the Eastern Conference Final. They lost to Chicago, not Chicago. They lost to the Washington Capitals in 7 games. In 2019, they had the best record. I believe they had the President's Trophy as well, and they got bounced in the first round in a sweep by the Columbus Blue Jackets. But then they got the redemption in 2020, and in 2021 they repeated as Stanley Cup champions. 2022 they made it all the way to the Cup final, but they would lose in 6 games to the Colorado Avalanche. And this past postseason, they played the Leafs and they lost in the first round of the playoffs. So some notable free agents that they have brought over. They've brought in Connor Sheary from the Washington Capitals. They've also signed Josh Archibald from the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's go take a look and see about the contracts. So Sheary has signed for 3 years. Archibald has signed for 2 seasons. Luke Glendening is coming over from the Dallas Stars. He has signed a 2-year contract with them as well. Logan Brown is coming over from the St. Louis Blues. He has signed a 1-year contract. Calvin Dehan has signed a 1-year contract with the with the Tampa Bay Lightning. He previously played with the Carolina Hurricanes. And Tyler Mott has come over from the New York Rangers. He has signed a 1-year deal as well. And it's worth noting that Jonas Johansson, he only played a few games for the Colorado Avalanche as a goaltender. I could see him being the backup to Vasilevsky this upcoming season. And that's pretty much all the notable signings that they have done during the offseason. So, like I do with all the videos, I'll take a look at their roster from last season and we'll see who has re signed, who has yet to sign, or who has signed elsewhere. So, take a look at their goaltending situation. Just got to make sure it's somewhat visible for the viewers. Okay, so Vasilevsky still has 5 more years left to go on his contract. Brian Elliott is still a free agent, but him being almost 38, I could see him potentially retiring. And if he does go anywhere, he's obviously still going to be a backup. Now we'll take a look at the rosters. So Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, he has left and signed with the Seattle Kraken. Zach Bogosian has 1 more year left to go on his contract. Eric Saranik, his contract did expire this past season, but he has re-signed for 8 years at $5.2 million. Anthony Cirelli's contract did expire this past season, but he is also signed for 8 years at $6.25 million. Ian Cole has signed with the Vancouver Canucks. Ross Colton has gone to the Colorado Avalanche. Michael Eyssimont has re-signed on a 2-year contract. Hayden Fleury, I believe he has 1 more left to go on his contract. Brandon Hagel has 1 more left to go on his contract as well. Victor Hedman has 2 years left on his contract. Tanner Janot came over from the Nashville Predators in by the trade deadline, I should say, and he has re-signed on a 2-year contract extension. Alex Killorn has left Tampa Bay and is headed to the Anaheim Ducks, so he is no longer a member of the Lightning. Nikita Kucherov has 4 more years left to go on his deal. Patrick Maroon was traded to the Minnesota Wild during the offseason. Nick Paul has 6 more years left to go on his contract. Nick Perbix His contract did expire this past season, but he has re-signed on a 2-year, $1.125 million contract. Corey Perry was traded to the Chicago Blackhawks. Braden Point, I do apologize, has 7 more years left to go on his deal. Darren Radish is coming into the last year of his contract. Brent Seabrook, he's just there because his contract was traded to the Lightning. He hasn't actually played since, I believe, the 2020 season with the Chicago Blackhawks. Mikhail Sergachev's contract did expire this past season, but he has re-signed on an 8-year, $8.5 million deal. And Steven Stamkos, this is going to be interesting to see what happens this upcoming season because he's coming into the last year of his contract. And obviously, him being the captain, I'm sure they're going to want to get him re-signed ASAP. And that takes care of the roster for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So I'll bring him back to the main menu, and I will discuss what I believe should be the expectations for the Lightning this upcoming season. So just going to make sure it's somewhat centered. All right, here we go. So for the 2023-2024 campaign, the Lightning should finish in a top 3 spot. Yeah, they have lost a few pieces during the offseason. Obviously, when you lose a guy like Alex Killorn, he's going to be hard to replace. But with the additions that they have made, I believe they still should be competitive in that Atlantic division. I don't see them getting the top spot, but I can see them finishing second or third respectively. I mean, when you have Kucherov on your team, you have the likes of Stamkos, and you have Point, Cirelli, and obviously on the defensive side, you have Victor Hedman and Sergachev, and then you have probably the best goaltender as of right now with Andrei Vasilevsky. They always give you a chance to win. I mean, there's a reason they're 2-time Stanley Cup champions. It wasn't a fluke. And obviously they made it to 3 Stanley Cups in a row. So it's no fluke that this team has the talent and they can go on massive runs once the postseason kicks off. So, yeah, I truly believe that the Tampa Bay Lightning should make it into the postseason. I'd be very shocked if they weren't able to or landed any wildcard spots. But yeah, like I said, the talent's there, and they are in a win-now mode. There's no question about it. So I'm just going to sound like a broken record. I'll just say it one last time. The Tampa Bay Lightning should make the playoffs by the end of the 2024 season. As always, if you like hockey videos or sports videos in general, I do it on the daily. So please feel free, if you're a newbie, to hit that sub button. It would help out a lot. And as always, take care.